5-Year Mission, the podcast, episode 42.
This episode of 5-Year Mission, the podcast, is brought to you by Fansets, your home for all things pop culture pin related. Head over to fansets.com and see all that they have to offer. And also stay tuned at the end of the episode for a very special offer from us here at 5-Year Mission.
Well, I figured we record all of it, and the stuff that doesn't get edited goes to Patreon for, the Trek Geeks Network. They have the Patreon, so they get the unedited stuff. And so I figured instead of just having a bunch of dead space, I'd sit here and each listener's chat to myself. I don't know why I thought that'd be a good idea. I'm trying not to make too much mouth noise wise. That's all right. Andy
I
can
went and
fix
grabbed
it.
a snack too. Oh,
Andy can fix it, right? When he does his
What?
editing.
Fix what now? Cut off your nonsense.
If it ever goes on longer than like 5 to
wanna do
10
that?
seconds, I cut it out anyway.
Yeah.
Even for
You're gonna
Patreon.
want this.
Hope that this is going to be gold.
Liquid gold.
In Devil in the Dark, it kills
What is
over
that?
50 workers on the planet, and in the entirety of TOS, only 24 red shirts died. So basically, orange is the most dangerous color to wear on the original series.
Hey, save it for the podcast.
Yeah, now repeat that.
I'm going to save that for the end of the discussion. Devil in the Dark episode, take 1.
By now you figured out that this is the 5-Year Mission podcast.
We'll all talk like Andy this time.
God, I'll just
That'll be a great episode.
I'll just speed everything up in editing. Put it like
Okay, let's
one
do
and
that.
one and
That'll be
3/4
great.
speed. You're not fooling anyone.
Hi, welcome to 5-Year Mission, the podcast, the only podcast hosted by a band called 5-Year Mission.
I'm Andy
I'm
Fark.
entertaining myself.
As always.
I'm joined by
Welcome to 5-Year Mission, the podcast, the only podcast hosted by a band called 5-Year Mission. I am Andy Fark. We are here to go with another episode of What Are Little Songs Made Of. This time we are going to be focusing on the episode Devil in the Dark. I'm joined by Mike Rittenhouse.
Mike Rittenhouse.
That is your name indeed. Also, Mr. Chris Spurgeon over there.
You're welcome.
Whoa, did you just bust out a Moana reference on us? See, I caught that. I
You
got
know
kids.
I did.
I
know
got
I
kids.
I see what's happening here. Oh.
And also, down not last but least, the man that wrote this song that we're going to be focusing on the episode and the song for tonight, Patrick O'Connor. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Andy. Hi.
Hi.
Present.
So this is the second episode in a row that we're recording for What Are Little Songs Made Of. So forgive us if we don't sound nearly as prepared as the last episode, because I forgot we were doing 2 episodes tonight.
So none of us were prepared for this one.
I did watch this episode a couple weeks ago, just like This Side of Paradise and the last What Are Little Songs episode that we did. So it's still a little refresher, but I didn't have time to go through the synopsis on my own. So basically it's going to be real time, me on Memory Alpha going through and remembering this episode.
I think it's better if we just try to remember it from our memory instead of the alpha
Man, this will
memory.
be good. So take it away, Chris.
Well, so the crew is in these caves, and
You're starting way too early.
The mining
and
colony.
they're in this. Yeah, it's a mining colony. So they have to there's this something that's like boring hole. Something's boring holes in the mines.
I'm not really
and
into
killing
boring holes.
people, and they have to kill it and kill it, but then they find out, no, this isn't a bad creature, it's a good creature. And then Spock lays on it, and he's like, oh, you know what, this is a good guy. And so then they save it, and that's the end.
This sounds like
See,
Drunk
that was a
Trek.
great synopsis.
What have you been drinking tonight, Chris?
I have been eating
Licorice.
This sounds like those were like the elevator pitch for this episode. Basically, you're like,
what more do you
you're like,
need?
I'm stuck in an elevator with William Shatner. I'm just gonna recount his episodes he's been into him on the way up to our rooms.
Dude, Spock rhymes with rock.
Whoa.
Spock.
Are we still high from this side of paradise right now?
We'll have Spock mind meld with a rock.
What? That's hilarious. So the Janus 4 mining colony, they're having some issues with this thing and boring holes. And just so I'm on the record,
Joined by 4 right now.
just so I'm on the record, I don't enjoy boring holes. I enjoy exciting holes. Anyhow, so they get a distress call from this mining colony because this monster is basically screwing up their work and killing a bunch of people in orange jumpsuits. So, they get a distress call. Enterprise shows up like 2 days later because that's the closest they could get. And they show up and, we're going to get to the orange jumpsuits later.
What was the name of the planet?
Janus?
Janus
6.
You're Janus?
I said 4, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because I'm over here reading Roman numerals and I got
Is
them
it
backwards.
Janus or Janice?
I think it's Janus.
Janice?
I prefer to say Janus because we were talking
All right,
about
so-
boring holes.
There's an emergency on Janus 6. Sulu, warp 2.
2. Yeah. When you got to get there, take the slowest route possible. But show just a little effort.
What if there was like an ensign Hugh?
So what happens next, Andy?
So basically, in this
You can
time,
edit that out if you want.
yeah. So basically, in this time, like over 50 people have been killed so far by this creature, because they're down there mining. They're like, oh no, this thing's in the way. Oh no, it's attacking us, and they don't know why. And so the entire time, like Enterprise shows up and they're like, well, what seems to be the problem?
But also look at these cool rocks that we bust open.
Yeah, look at these bouncy balls that we keep on finding everywhere. We've just been smashing them.
It's fun.
It's fun. You ought to try it. It's pretty. So this game we started doing. So basically, they get there. They see this creature, and they start trying to phaser the hell out of it. The thing runs off. Luckily enough, because it's made of lava, basically, and it could burn the crap out of them. So, Spock finally realizes that it's made of it's made of silicone. The little things that's popping out. Don't know what they are yet. Turns out it's eggs. What? This thing, the Horta, is laying eggs all over the place, and that's what these.
Are you telling me that they've been killing its children?
That's right. They've been performing abortions and they didn't even know it.
Wow. He wasn't there.
Against its will.
Well, then of course we have the show-stopping Vulcan mind meld with the creature, which is probably the coolest part of the episode.
Pain.
No kill.
But he sells it pretty well, considering that he's talking to a rock.
There's a lot of drama going on there.
I think he was talking to
Mind
styrofoam.
Yeah, or a blanket, with,
over a guy.
somebody underneath it.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. They realize it's like a sentient creature, and Kirk's all kill it because he's like he orders everybody, like the entire landing party, to like set phasers to kill. And so he's just like, yeah, kill it. And Spock's like, no, dude, no. This thing's a living creature. We can't do that because, and
it's the last of its kind. Also.
And it's that they know of.
Prime directive.
When Kirk's like, telling them to kill it, that's prior to understanding that the mining colony is destroying the eggs and that's why it's attacking. Right?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So Kirk sees no other way. He's like, this is a hostile creature.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to kill it because we can't just have it going around killing all these people, the needs of the many and all that.
And they have no idea it's a sentient life form either.
Mm-hmm. So basically, so Spock is like, no, we can't kill it. We got to capture it. And the chief engineer down there is like, we're gonna kill this thing. And if we don't have phasers, we're gonna use clubs. It's like you've been trying to phaser this thing. It has no effect. Do you really think this rock monster is going to be affected by clubs?
It can burn through solid rock. You think it can't burn through a wooden club?
Right. Exactly. the roof collapses because all this like Scotty tries to do this improvised pump thing to like get all this gas out of the tunnels and everything, and then it fails, and then the roof collapses and Kirk is trapped in there, and he's convinced that, like, this is the rock monster that did this, we still gotta kill it. And Spock's like, dude, no, this isn't happening. With Kirk basically distracted, and Spock is the only one that really has access to it. He's like, you know what? I don't care if I burn my fingers off. I'm going to try and mind meld with this thing. Then you get the whole pain, no kill eye. And then, realizes, this is a living creature. It has feelings. It knows what's going on. And so like it lets everyone down there know, no, I don't want to be killed. These are my kids. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt them.
Kirk is pretty bloodthirsty in this episode.
Kirk is really showing some like big dick energy in this episode.
Yeah, he doesn't really take a lot of time to try to understand in this case. I mean, not that Kirk is really all that contemplative, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He just does not. I mean, he's just like, gung ho. Let's murder this thing.
Well, he also has pressure from the mining colonists.
I mean,
to kill it and let them get back on schedule and that sort of thing.
But when did Kirk ever kowtow to anybody? When it went against what he thought was right. When did Kirk ever say, well, okay, I understand you need this, so I'll do this instead? No, Kirk was always like, back off, buddy. We're doing it my way.
He always had to learn his lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't understand before, but I know now. The more you know. One of those type of deals. So yeah, basically after like Spock mind melds and everything, and he's able to actually start communicating with the Horta, and it turned out that the Horta had stolen the pump that Scotty had been trying to improvise a new one for. And then finally the Horta's like, look, will you leave me alone if I tell you where your stupid pump is? And then the Horta directs them to like where it had like hid the pump. And it was like,
instead of destroying the pump because it's capable.
Right, exactly. So like the Horta was like, no, I just want to piss you guys off, and I was gonna give it back, like one of those type of deals. So basically, the Horta's like, here's your pump, and the miners are still all pissed off and want to kill it, and Kirk is actually the one finally that steps in between. It's like, look, I will kill the first one of you guys that tries to kill this Horta. And so then he's like stepping up, being good guy now that he fully understands, and so they get their pump back and everything. They go back to work. They kind of come to an agreement with the Horta through Spock. We'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone. Basically that. And then finally everyone gets back up on the ship and everything, and they get word that the Horta's about to lay some more eggs, and it's going to be cool because it can like replenish its race. And then they're like,
didn't they come to an agreement with the Horta where the Horta actually helps them dig?
Yeah. Do they helps like
so they're kind of working together at that point.
Yeah, it's like the Horta basically in its free time when it's not popping out silicon balls. It's gonna help. It's gonna help like transport like a bunch of the debris and ore and things like that, like the minerals out of the mine to like help them out. And it's like, oh, cool, unpaid labor.
Yeah,
which is basically what it turns into.
We won't kill you and your children if you make these holes for us.
Right.
Everybody has their price.
So yeah, at the end, like the according to Memory Alpha, the last line of the synopsis is like, the crew returns to the Enterprise, and Chief Engineer Vandenberg radios that the Horta have started hatching. So there's a bunch of new Horta, and they've already found new mineral deposits. And he actually also mentions that he's actually getting used to their appearance. And Spock says that the Horta had told him the same thing about humans, that is, the Horta's finally used to the humans' appearance. So that it's comedy at the end. They all have a good laugh and freeze frame.
Well, I mean, you kind of need that because it's a very just dark episode in general. I mean, it's certainly one of the, I mean, not just because it's in the title, but it just happens to be one of the darkest of the original TOS episodes.
So yeah, that kind of wraps up the synopsis of Devil in the Dark. What do you guys have to say about this episode?
Well,
Not all at
definitely
once.
Learns a lesson.
I've pretty much injected my
He
comments
does-
while you were doing
That's
the
true.
synopsis.
True.
It's a really good episode.
No,
It's
this
a
is
great-
definitely
it's a really
one
great
of my.
episode.
This is definitely one of my favorite TOS episodes.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those episodes. I mean, nowadays it doesn't seem that far out there or surprising.
Groundbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the time,
Oh, yeah.
like the whole concept was just very out there.
Mm-hmm.
Very unusual.
Very like do no harm kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go,
There's a lot of
"Oh."
inspiration behind the Horta too. I mean, when you can, like we said, when you consider it's just basically a blanket of magma
Right.
foam that someone is moving around underneath. They did a great job of making it seem like a real creature that has these feelings and has this ancient history behind it. But
Yeah.
I think certainly Spock's mind meld steals the show on this one.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's definitely the most memorable scene in the episode for sure. So a little bit of outside of this episode trivia. William Shatner's dad died
Oh, that's right.
when they were making this episode, and he found out like halfway through the week and had to finish filming before he could go leave town to go to the funeral.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's amazing how he was able to keep it together and shoot all this this very intense episode.
He channeled his pathos into the part, which is
Yeah.
maybe that helps explain why he was a little different than we expected in this one.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the other little fun fact about this episode, when it originally aired, like first airing, this was the episode where during the end credits, NBC announced that Star Trek was coming back for a second season.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah. So that's a big plus. And also another little weird thing. Well, not really weird for a first season, I guess, but neither Uhura or Sulu appeared in this episode at all.
Well,
Where
most
was
of the
Chekhov?
episode takes place down in the mine, so
Yeah,
Also.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, I mean, you would think they might need to call back up to the ship, and Uhura would answer the comm, but
Where was Chekhov? What about Nurse Chapel?
Chekhov was probably hanging out somewhere in the background, like with Khan.
Talking to Khan.
Yeah. See, canon. This explains it now.
He wasn't promoted
everybody
to
has
the
to
bridge
take a
crew
coffee
yet.
break sometime.
Oh, also a weird one that I just read on Memory Alpha. This is also the only episode that has no female speaking parts in it.
No kidding.
That's weird.
Feminism.
Wait a minute. What about the Horta?
Well, that was written. Well, and
I
also,
know.
It also spoke through Spock.
It's
So I
not
guess
spoken, right? I know. I understand.
But is the Horta female?
that's right. It could be asexual.
Could be.
This is also the first episode that featured McCoy talking about how he's a doctor, not something else. And he says, I'm a
bricklayer.
doctor, not a bricklayer.
Yeah, that's right.
It
Well,
doesn't,
That's a weird little first in this episode.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a reference to he was trying to help the Horta or something? Or somebody.
Well, yeah,
wanted
they
him
were
to?
they were going to try to like fix some of his injuries that it had suffered, and like
Right.
they
Yeah.
were talking about like basically like spackling
He had
it.
no idea where to start. Yeah.
And also another little fun factoid about this isn't on Memory Alpha, but I always remember this because before I had the stripes and dashes on my sleeve, I'd always get yelled, "Red shirt, you're gonna die!" At like every single convention and like show that we did. Let it be known.
Wait. You still get that all the time.
Oh, I still get
All the
that.
time.
The stripes and dashes.
Yeah, and then I'll point it out. It's like, oh, I'm okay. I got stripes and dashes. No, you're still gonna die. It's like you don't know how this canon works.
Scotty
one
died 3
understands.
times.
Yeah, but he brought him back to life.
You don't feed the trolls, man.
Well,
Just
I'm
let them starve.
well, I'm about to shut these trolls down because it is a
I'm sure
fact.
this will work.
It's a fact that the most dangerous color to wear on the original series was not red, as in the red shirts, but the most dangerous color to wear was orange, because all these miners that died were wearing orange jumpsuits. And they actually said before the Enterprise even got there that over 50 men had died. And in the original series, only 24 red shirts total died throughout the entire 3 seasons. So
But are we counting people that died off screen before the episode started?
We absolutely are.
Are we counting the people who died and came back, like Scotty, when he died like 5 times and came back?
5. You just said 3 like a minute ago.
Yeah. You know, I'm not
Keep
convinced.
rounding up.
I'm not convinced that what Nomad brought back was Scotty.
Ooh, evil twin.
Yeah,
Got like a William Riker, William and Thomas Riker situation going on.
something like that.
Either that or like old Scotty stuck in a beam for years.
No.
Hey, look,
more,
I'm talking about Enterprise again.
More. No, that's Next Generation.
That's next gen. Damn it.
God, Andy. Do you know anything about Star Trek?
No.
Are we still talking about Star Trek?
Sometimes.
More like a Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Still in the sci-fi.
So,
genre.
Devil in the Dark.
Yeah, I think this is definitely in probably I would say top 15 episodes of TOS.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It's in that area, I'd say.
I mean, out of 80 episodes, I mean, I love this episode. I mean, we got Spock doing a mind meld. We got Kirk, just like I mentioned earlier, Kirk with that weird big dick energy, and then he learns a lesson. He's like, my bad. I'm gonna kill anybody that messes with this thing now.
Upholding the Prime Directive.
That's right. Always.
It's nice that he can admit that he made a mistake and he's going to make reparations for it.
Yeah, another Kirk my bad situation, but also another episode where we don't have to see Kirk confuse a computer.
They are rare.
There's a lot of them. So moving on to the song, Patrick, when you first brought this song to us, we were all really thrown off because it was like nothing like we'd done before, and it was just like very slow, which we were not used to at that point, but also just definitely the most ambitious one that we'd done, like trying to figure out exactly how to get, I guess, I mean, we already had your demo, but we like the rest of us were trying to figure out like, what do we play behind all this? So like when it was, so like when you first came up with this concept for this song, what did you like, what was your starting point? Like, what was your thought process?
Well, I think independent of the episode, I had come up with the 2 main chord parts of the melody, actually. And I just, when I was watching the episode, it just came back to me that I had this thing, and it had this very sort of tribal, primitive feel to it. And it seemed like it could work for something that's supposed to be kind of ancient. And I thought, oh, we'll make it from the Horta's point of view, speaking through Spock. And then, we get that sort of ancient feel, primordial thing going on. And so that I think we've done that several times since, and, songs from a character's point of view that you don't expect. I think this might be one of the first ones we did. But also, I've always enjoyed doing more experimental music, and hadn't had a chance to do it in 5-Year Mission up to this point. And I thought this kind of lent itself to that, because the episode itself is quite a departure as well. Seeing how they're basically stuck in a dark mining colony for most of it, and trying to deal with this sentient creature that they find out it's sentient. But yeah, I think I wanted something tribal and primitive sounding, but that had layers buried in it as well. And Noah's not here to talk about it, but for some reason this stuck in my head, that I gave you guys the demo, and he told me after that. I listened to it twice, driving around in my car, and I was nonplussed. And then I listened to it a third time, and it nearly brought me to tears.
Oh, wow.
And I love that. I think that's the thing about this song is it's a departure. It's one you have to kind of give it the time to get something out of it.
Yeah, because I know we initially spent a lot of time, like I said, trying to figure out what to do in the background, like everybody, like keys and everything, and the craziness that Noah wound up doing on that guitar,
Ebo,
part. And what's the name of that thing?
Technically,
Ebo.
that's me playing that.
Oh, that's you. Well,
live. I was going to mention that later. Noah did play a guitar part that's in the recording. His is more like chords and stuff.
Right.
I think I think he might have tried to emulate that Ebo part when we played it live.
Ebo, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is called an Ebo. I was gonna say this is a song that we actually bought two things for, specifically for the song. We bought the Ebo, and we also bought mallets.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the for the entirety of the song up until the very end, where I play the snare for the first time throughout the whole song, it's all mallets, like that you use on like a timpani or anything like that. So yeah, that was
And that's a big part of the feel of the song. And of course we have Maggie Davis playing violin.
Oh, that's right. I forgot this was the violin song.
Yeah. Real quick, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about with the Ebo, it's a thing that you can place on the guitar and it makes it buzz, kind of like if you're playing using like a bow for a violin, and just makes the string ring, and it gives it a really like electronic kind of distorted electronic sound. And when you listen to this song, it's the first thing that you hear. It kind of fades in before the song starts. That's the Ebo.
Yeah.
There's a lot of layered parts on this. I love Mike's bass line. It really he does more movement, I think, than most of the rest of the music. He really kind of drives the song forward a little bit, but there's so many layers of stuff. And I remember at one point I detuned an acoustic guitar and I had all the strings tuned to the same note and just played that note. Basically, I played what I wanted it to sound like on there, but it's buried pretty deep in the mix. But that was kind of a crazy thing because some of the strings were real tight and others were just like flapping in the wind. I was trying to hold them all down at once.
I forgot all about that.
It was a very sort of Sonic Youth type of approach.
This was definitely the most experimental we had gotten, and I think definitely bringing in the violin, like added on.
What was her name?
Maggie Davis. Maggie Davis. Yeah.
Yes, I didn't mean to trample over that part of it. I wanted to get back to that. So
okay.
What you did sounds great. I
was gonna say she actually recorded 3 tracks, I think, of the entire song, where she just made stuff up basically over the whole song. And I went through and when editing and picked different little bits that she did and used them throughout the song. There were a couple parts that I even moved to a different section because I liked how it fit that better. One in particular is right before the second verse where there's that instrumental part.
Yeah, I know the part you mean.
And she plays it's like na 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 na, like it kind of like builds.
It's like a fight music type.
I moved it. It was like in the middle of a chorus or something, and I moved it there because it like really like crescendoed into that verse.
Next verse.
Well, everything she played was great.
One of my great regrets about this recording is that I absolutely love what she plays in the first chorus. And when the second chorus comes in, I miss it every time. And I wish we had
doubled it.
Because I really love how it sounds. And then it just seems a little empty the second time. But it gets noisier, so it kind of fills in the gap. But I miss that melody that's there the first time through.
Yeah, this song definitely builds to that whole like that raucous ending, which is so weird because it's just been like droning beautiful like thing for like the entire song, and then all of a sudden like Patrick, that last note that you hold out is haunting.
That's some studio trickery.
So Patrick sang that note and he cuts it off like halfway through. And so what I did,
reversed it, right?
I took that entire thing that he sang and just reversed it.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
And put it after it. So he kind of like it kind of goes through it, and then it revert. You can hardly tell because it's just kind of a solid note. But it really works. If you listen to the recording where it's not cut off at the end, you can hear him saying the part before it backwards.
You can hear "No Kill I," the last "No Kill I" backwards. But I love how it turned out. But I remember when we recorded the vocal for this that I think I was doing like a guide vocal. I don't think we ever actually finished the vocal. I think I always planned to go back and redo some of the ending parts, and you just fixed it.
That sounds right.
But I don't usually do that. I'm usually a stickler for I want to get it right,
You
but
are
in this case, it made sense to do it that way.
well with the wall of sound that we already had going.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the wall of sound, so back when we were recording year 2, we were using a version of Pro Tools that had a limit of 32 tracks.
Oh,
And up to this point, we had not
come close.
Yeah, we had not run out. I mean, I think the
Yeah.
most we had used in any song was like 24 or something.
Mhm.
But this song, we actually ran out of tracks because, well, mainly because when we record drums, we record with like 8 different microphones
Mhm.
and have, like each drum has its own track. And we did 2 layers.
Yep.
So there were like
And-
16 drum tracks.
Well, and on top of that, I also added in like background percussion too.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
And that also worked really well because it got more of the tribal feel of the
Mhm.
thing.
yeah.
Sounds like a drum circle.
So we ran out of tracks. I think we found a workaround to get everything we needed in there, but
Yeah.
it definitely challenged us. Now the Pro Tools we use is unlimited, so we
nice.
never run into that problem again.
Yeah. What I loved about this is like whenever like we get a new listener that's like a little more into music than like just your average person. I always get the thing, man, that Devil in the Dark song like gives me such Radiohead vibes.
Yeah.
And of course I always agree with that. Cause I mean, I definitely get like a whole like Radiohead Kid A vibe from it.
I can hear that.
Yeah, I was definitely channeling some Tom York singing that one.
Tom York, maybe some like Sonic Youth, Thurston Moore, like later Sonic Youth stuff.
Yep. Oh, and I don't know, we haven't really mentioned it, but obviously the chorus is just no kill I. But the verses are the words that Spock speaks when he's having the mind meld with the Horta. We haven't talked about that yet, but
I was actually going to bring that up.
Yeah, they're almost verbatim what he says in the episode as the Horta. So
way to phone it in, Patrick.
Well, I had the no kill I part worked great with what I was playing, and then the other part I had a melody, so I just kind of fit that into the melody, and I made some adjustments so that it would fit, but I think it worked.
How about you, Chris? Anything? You've been very quiet.
Chris, you were on keys for this one, right?
I was, and this one was one of those where I didn't see a lot of, the bass part was moving. There was a lot of pieces moving here, so it really made more sense to me to have, just add some texture underneath, which is what some the drone. Keys do here. Yeah, it's a very droney key part, so it's not really, it's an easy part to play, and I don't really have. I think I may do some backups on the chorus, just like kind of back in the back a little. I don't know if we did that on the recording or not. I think we played it live a couple times, and I threw in some backing vocals. But this is a pretty laid back song for me. When I first heard the demo, like Noah, I wasn't keyed into it yet. I just didn't get into it. Maybe that was just because I couldn't see the vision, it was just a kind of more acoustic, and I don't think I really realized the potential of the song until we started building it, and then I started seeing where it was going. I always thought it was kind of, once I realized what it was and how Patrick was taking the perspective of the Horta, I thought, well, that's brilliant, that's a really good idea, and the way he presented it. The song didn't really capture me right away though, but once we started building it and realizing what it was and what it was supposed to be, that I really started to appreciate it. And I still think it's one of the most nuanced songs that we have. It starts very, it's got a really dark feel, but there's a lot going on. I mean, that's what you get with 32 tracks plus. There's a lot going on. But it's a really earnest song, it's like this creature is crying out that it wants to live, and it mirrors what happens in the episode, but to translate that into music and create what we did with it, I think really elevates the whole thing. So I think it's a great song. I don't contribute a whole lot to it. What I just add some flavor. But I think as a whole, the way we approached the song and the way we worked on it and brought it to life, I really like what we did with it.
Thank you. No, I thought everybody did a great job on this one. Sound is very widescreen, I guess you could say.
I haven't been chiming in just because there's a lot of voices, bumping around, and I kept going like starting to say something, and someone else would jump in. So I just kind of laid back and let it happen until I could say my piece. So there you go.
Much appreciated.
How many times have we played this song?
I think only once or twice, and it's been recently, like in the past couple of years. Like we never played it.
We played it at Radio.
Yeah.
On May 25th, 2018.
Whoa.
Is that the only time?
Easy.
It was my birthday, and Neil was in town.
Oh yeah, right. That's why we played it. It was a request.
Neil picked the song for his set list, and so
it's all Neil's
any
fault.
other time that we ever played it?
I don't think that we've ever played it any other time.
Did we maybe do it acoustic at one point?
Maybe, but that doesn't count.
I feel
exactly.
I feel like when year 2 first came out, we might have played it at like a release show or somewhere.
No, we didn't.
Nope.
We didn't. I think there were 4 songs off of year 2 that we didn't play at the show, and that was one of them. Because we also didn't play Operation Annihilate, and I don't think we played Court Martial.
That makes sense.
And one of Noah's songs.
Well, maybe we didn't. Maybe we have only played this once.
May 25th, 2018.
Song to play live when you're
the videos on YouTube.
When you're playing for like 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this song is long, and it just you want to keep it moving.
Keep the energy
up. Disrupt the momentum of a set, probably.
Yeah.
It really only works.
Like, if we were playing like a 2-hour set, you drop this in the middle to just, people have been, you've been rocking out, and then you drop this in to let people cool off for a minute, and then you go back and, to the more upbeat stuff. That makes sense. But in 45 minutes, it's really hard to.
Well, yeah, because the song itself is 5 minutes and 45 seconds long. You got to think live, it would probably wind up being more like 4 minutes and 42 seconds, honestly, because everything gets sped up a little bit. Adrenaline. But this is definitely not one of those like adrenaline songs where it's like,
right.
I'm so amped to play this. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope.
I always thought it would be great to open with it.
I know. I remember you telling us about that once, and I was like,
just because it would be completely unexpected.
Depending on the show,
would be so confused.
I would open with this song easily because I think it actually, because of the way it develops. Yeah, and it goes from like really quiet and kind of plodding, and I mean that in a good way. And and it gets louder and louder and stronger. Yeah, I'm kind of with Patrick on that. I remember when he suggested it, and I was like, yes, let's do this. And then
nope.
If Fark won't do it, nobody can do it. So
well, see, the thing is that this song would be perfect for the second to last song in a set, because you kind of cool it down and it has the raucous ending. They're like, all right, we got one more, and you hit them with something all hyped up and everything for the final song.
Yeah, that works too.
I'm a fucking genius.
1, 2, 3, 4. Operation Annihilate. Good night.
Or you play the slow song and everybody leaves, and no one hears that last song. So whatever.
It's not how it works, Chris.
I think that this song would make a good opening song for a band that is
for Modest Mouse.
Yeah, like a band that is playing somewhere where people, I mean, I don't know, just like a national act is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's well known. We have a nice, good fan base, and a lot of them come to our shows. But I mean, when we're playing like a local show, there's like 20 people there that would know this song, and then there's another 20 people that have no idea. And Andy is
Okay.
worried that we're going to scare off those people
Yeah,
who have
listen.
no idea.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go out back and smoke.
Yeah.
You know what, Mike? I think you just made our new T-shirt. 5-year mission. We have a few nice, good fans.
Several of them pay for this podcast.
Sure.
or whatever it was that you just said. I had it and then I lost it when I started talking.
Well, we have a recording somewhere.
Well, at any rate, yeah, no. At any rate, this is a song that is difficult to perform live, but I think it worked well.
Yeah, I think
We
it went well.
definitely pulled it off.
It was that when we were playing that show that Neil, you suggest. I think that was the one you suggested we open with that song for, and I thought it was a great idea. But it's one of those things where, it's kind of a crapshoot. It could really work, and it could really not. And it doesn't. It might hit, and it might be great, and it might not. Sometimes we want to do that. Sometimes we don't. So it's. I like the idea, but we may never do it. Who knows? But I think that it's a great song. I think that it's a nice something to have in our repertoire. Something that we've done, and we
Chris.
just point at it and say, "Look, we did this great
Chris.
thing. It's cool." What?
Please do not speak French on this podcast.
You haven't been watching your French. I don't have to watch mine.
Yours was actual French.
That's the difference between you and I.
Lousy cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Simpsons reference for the Simpsons fans out there.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were just being racist.
No, it was Willie. Willie had when all the teachers went on strike. Groundskeeper Willie had to start teaching French. Bonjour, ya cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Not the best Willie impersonation.
Now I drive the school bus.
So I think that wraps it up.
Go ahead, Mike. Do the wrap up. Come on, man.
We'll see you guys next time.
That was horrible.
That was it. That's all you need.
Really? That's all you need? Just bam, wham, bam. Thank you, fans.
Do the real one, Andy.
You're out.
Do the real one.
Wham, bam. Thank you, fans. Hey, do you miss getting new content from 5-Year Mission? You should head over to patreon.com/5yearmission and check out our Patreon page. As a patron of the band, you will receive access to rare and behind-the-scenes pictures and videos and other cool stuff. You will also have early access to many things, like video releases or new songs. You can sign up for different levels, from ensign all the way up to admiral. One of the perks of being an admiral on 5-Year Mission's Patreon is that you get to be a producer on this podcast. Currently, our producers are Neil Carpenter, Helen Lake, Debbie Rinke, Carol Jones, Becky and Roxy, Steve and Frankie Palopoli, Madison Rachel Jones, and Jim Morehouse. Your name could be on this list if you sign up as an admiral. So head over to patreon.com/5yearmission now. That's the number 5-year mission.
Fansets.com is your home for all things pop culture pin collectibles. From DC Comics to Batman 66, Scooby-Doo, Irwin Allen, and of course Star Trek, Fansets.com is the place to go for all of those needs. Now, they are going to be in Chicago April 8th through the 10th at Star Trek Mission Chicago from Reed Pop and CBS. They'll have a booth there, so go on, say hi, maybe mention our name, maybe they'll give you a discount there, maybe they'll laugh in your face, that is up to them. But for now, if you head over to fansets.com, fill up your cart, you can get an entire 10% off of your entire order when you enter the discount code 5-Year Mission. That is the number 5, and then all caps Year Mission. 5-Year Mission. Fill up your cart, check out, pay for some things, but pay 10% less. Fansets. Our pins have character, and we thank Fansets for sponsoring each and every episode of 5-Year Mission, the podcast, here on the Trek Geeks Network.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of What Are Little Songs Made Of? All about. Let me try that one more time. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of What Are Little Songs Made Of? All about Devil in the Dark. Come on back the next time. We're going to talk about some more things Star Trek related. What it is, I have no clue as of yet, but we're going to figure out something because you want to listen to things that we have to say about Star Trek and our band.
For some reason.
I don't know why you guys keep on coming back. Maybe it's because we're on the Trek Geeks Network and you just feel like throwing us a pity listen because of Bill and Dan. I don't know.
Yeah. Apparently you must like really boring mono podcasts.
To quote from the song, it's time to sleep. It's over. It's time to sleep. It's over. Good night.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Andy.
Night, Patrick.
Good night.
I sure want to leave. I sure want to leave.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 5 Year Mission Podcast. If any of you are interested in listening to more of our music, you can check us out on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes or pretty much anywhere that you can listen to music. Just search for 5 Year Mission and we should be the first thing that comes up. If you would like to contact us in regards to the podcast or anything else that you want to talk to us about, you can email us at 5yearmissionband@gmail.com.
And for more information about the band, you can go to 5yearmission.net and also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
5 Year Mission, the podcast, is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.